So it has been a fairly long week already, and we're only on Tuesday, but we're in week 6 of the house in the corn. And to give you a little bit of update on what's going on, we found that sinkhole last week, and this week we brought in a bigger track hoe to try to dig down, find the bottom, and figure out what to do next. And the bottom line at this point is we really don't know. We know what we would do if we stayed there. We may move the house back a few feet and be okay with it, or the possibility even exists after talking to the owner today that we might in fact move the house altogether to a different location on the farm. So we don't know. The problem is that we're really not finding bottom. At 20 feet deep, we've not found a solid rock bottom. We even took the hammer and shoved it into the ground 7 additional feet. So at 27 feet, we've still got no rock bottom, just a channel of rock that goes down into the ground and no sign of it stopping anywhere. So we're really at a loss on what that looks like, and trying to figure out what to do next. So stick with us. We'll see what goes on tonight. The owner's supposed to give me a call and us kind of talk through what to do and some possibilities. It's an unfortunate situation that nobody has any control over. It just happens, and this is for sure it's only the second time we've had one in the foundation, but it for sure is not a good one. And so we'll see what the owner says, and tomorrow kind of get an update and a game plan moving forward to where we're filling that in and getting stuff prepared to move the site, or just exactly what we're doing. We'll see you in a day or so. All right, so we're back out at the house in the corn. This is Wednesday, July 30th. And the conclusion that's been reached as of last night was that we are going to move the house back on this site somewhere between 30 and 50 feet. I went over this morning and looked at another site on the farm that is totally doable, but the problem is there's already a couple of known sinkholes there with it, on not very far from it, even including open top ones, and that doesn't make me feel very warm and fuzzy about moving over there and only finding another hole. That's been a lot of the discussion with the engineer, with the owner, that okay, we move it, what did we gain? Did we actually just create another problem? And of course at that point we've completely abandoned everything that we've spent on this site to move over there. So what's going to happen this morning, they're going to start filling that sinkhole in, because it'll wind up just being kind of in the front yard of the house, and we're going to start building a new garage pad at the location where we feel like it'll be. If nothing changes, the surveyors will be here tomorrow to restake it at the new location, and we will be ready to start footings again. So definitely a delay in what we're doing, definitely some added cost in what we've done. Our hope was that we would find a shallow rock bottom here and be able to cap this thing and make it work, and that's simply not going to be the case. It goes down, we're at 27 feet, we know, with no resistance and no rock. So we're going to try to do some of this. The first thing we're doing this morning, we're waiting on a load of rock to get here that we're going to proof roll more of the building pad with, and just make sure that we don't have any other soft spots and depressions. So the situation has changed quite drastically today from where we started this morning. We've worked on capping that sinkhole and made the decision to move the house back 30 feet to get behind it, and that then we would go take the building pad down about 18 more inches, which would help me with grade, because we'd have that 30 feet of dirt in the front to put back. And by dropping the house that 18 inches, it would just help gain me some ground in grading. And so the guys started cutting the grade down that 18 inches, and another hole fell out literally underneath the equipment. And so Melissa and I had a meeting earlier today, and this all happened while we were gone, and they wound up calling me and telling me. We sent Matt from DDS back out here to take a look at this, and basically we've got just a continuation of this same hole. He had a big name for the geological formation that this most likely was. He said he has no proof of that, but that's what it seems to be. And but what we've got is another hole that they've explored, and you know, the unfortunate thing is that this particular site, which is crazy because it's up here on this hilltop, we're probably in the highest spot for a half a mile in every direction, and this hilltop is sitting here just chock full of holes. So we're meeting the owner here in a minute to talk about a different spot on the farm and kind of what our approach would be to potentially moving the house to a different location. All right, so we're back out at the house in the corn. We have made the decision after yesterday's adventures to push this thing back a little bit further. And so we have moved it back probably about 60 or 70 feet from the original point. We have lowered grade. We're in the process of lowering grade about 3 feet. And that in an effort, because the further we go, we were on the ridge, and so grade is going downhill. So the further we go back, the taller the front of the house would get if we stayed at that same point. So what we're doing is we're lowering that thing down to where that it's going to take less dirt to put back, and that crest of that hill we're going to wind up bulldozing off and pushing over to the front. So that's what we're working on now. Praying and keeping our fingers crossed that we don't find any more openings, any more crevices than what we've already found. So we're hoping that that'll continue to go smooth. It has so far this morning, and they're moving on with it pretty good. They've probably in a few hours this morning moved about 1/3 of that dirt. It'll take them, I think, all day tomorrow, which would be Friday, the end of week 6, and probably most of the day Monday to really get the dirt moved and the bottom of the excavation cleaned up and straightened up and ready to go. So there's a chance that we are finally starting footings next week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, in that range somewhere. So gotta talk to the concrete guy and kind of see what he says and go from there. So we'll check back again later. Good morning. It is Friday, August 1st. And they are moving dirt here at the house in the corn again. So knock on wood, pray for us that we continue to find solid ground. If you haven't been watching, the video before this one, you know, we found a sinkhole, we found another sinkhole, and so we're trying to deal with all that. Get this thing to where that we can get the concrete guys back here and get some stuff done. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that this works out and works well for us.